Miami Heat center Meyers Leonard is in hot water, having to apologize last night after using an anti-Semitic slur during a recent video game live stream. Now, this video surfaced yesterday on social media, and in it, Leonard can be heard using the derogatory term. Leonard took to social media yesterday to apologize, saying, quote, "I am deeply sorry for using an anti-Semitic slur during a live stream yesterday. While I didn't know what the word meant at the time, my ignorance about its history and how offensive it is to the Jewish community is absolutely not an excuse, and I was just wrong. I am now more aware of its meaning, and I am committed to properly seeking out people who can help educate me about this type of hate and how we can fight it." Now, the Miami Heat already released a statement. They said that Meyers will be suspended indefinitely. We are still waiting on a statement from the NBA right now, though. And with that, seven-time NBA champ Robert Horry in the house. But Shanae, I want to start with you. What do you think should happen as far as the NBA punishing Meyers for this action, for his anti-Semitic slur?
Yeah, the Miami Heat and the NBA are already going down the path of investigation, obviously, for punishment for Meyers Leonard for his public use of the anti-Semitic slur, and rightfully so, because, you know, as an NBA analyst here at ESPN, and also a WNBA player who just genuinely loves hoops, basketball is basketball, this really gave me so much pause yesterday discovering this. And I was out here in Los Angeles working with my agent, who happens to be a young Jewish woman. And I was reading the story, and I grabbed my phone and I pointed to her, and I had to ask her what that word was. And she had to educate me on its history. And I appreciated her taking that time. And I saw a number of people going through that same process of what did he say, and why was this even said? And I think overall, you know, there's zero tolerance for hate speech, period. As a society, we've been having these conversations, especially after the summer of 2020, where many have been actively educating themselves on how we move, how we stand, how we look to our left and to our right and treat one another, right? And I'm talking about not just the Black community and the conversations we're having with the white community, but we're also standing in solidarity now as we're seeing, you know, time go on with the Asian community fighting Asian hate. And so anytime hate speech is involved, we must condemn it. These are necessary conversations, and they are inclusive conversations for this exact reason. So, you know, private or public use of any word, it cannot be tolerated. And I just think personally that is on us to govern in our own circles, right? For that exact reason. Now, as it pertains really to the NBA, they're heading down the right path, you know, as he will be away from the team indefinitely. Mind you, he is already out, you know, for the season with shoulder surgery, but this allows him to apologize properly to the people, you know, publicly, which I know he just posted an apology, but also, you know, that's a start, but also privately apologize to the people, you know, that he might have offended as well. And he doesn't have to look too far because, you know, the Miami Heat owner, Mickey Arison, and his son, Nick, the Heat's, you know, CEO, they're Jewish. And so I always say in this time, you have to educate yourself so that you can educate others. And that's exactly what Meyers Leonard will have to do with his time away. I wouldn't be surprised with the docking of pay. And we can't have this standard of, oh, in this culture, this word means this, and like all of it is bad. This is conduct detrimental to the team. I think per, you know, past policies, a lot of times it comes down to the team conduct policy, where they're probably going to dictate, you know, how many games potentially missed, which means dockage of pay. But overall, this, you know, conduct, even if it was done on his own time, on his own dime, on his own Twitch stream, which, by the way, he's been, I think, banned from those partnerships of, you know, even if it's done on his own time, you know, it's done in public, it's done in private, it's all bad and it's all wrong, as any hate speech should fully be condemned.
Now, before we move on, I just want to make one clarification. He has not been suspended from the Miami Heat team. He's just away from the team indefinitely as it stands right now. Kimberly?
Yeah, you know, here's what got me about this whole story. It wasn't just the use of the slur. That tired apology that he put out. And the reason I call it tired is because you know, he said, he claimed I didn't know, like I didn't know what that word really meant. And I don't fault him. I don't fault anyone for not understanding the history of or anything like that. It's all upon us to get educated on all history, right? But the way he used it in a string of words like, you know, effing cowards and all this stuff, like bleeping this, like he at least knew it was negative, right? So you may not know when it started, how bad is it, but you know it's bad enough where that should not ever come out your mouth. So to me, when I hear something like this, like if this were an NFL player, like I'm looking at the team like, I'd say NFL, don't wait for the NFL. Like the team needs to step in, suspend this person, you know, stuff like that, because fine him, because to me there has to be zero tolerance. And especially, you know, with him standing during the anthem last year, I understood, you know, everybody has their preference and what they wanted to do during that, but he was the only guy on the team that stood up during the anthem. And he even told Mark Spears, our undefeated writer, you know, I respect patriotism. Like, I have deep patriotism. I respect Black Lives Matter, but, you know, I'm rooted deeply in patriotism. And so to me, I've seen this person now conflate patriotism and protest as if this country wasn't founded on the backs of protests and, you know, fighting oppression and British rule and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm just a little concerned of the lack of awareness, but that doesn't mean he can't educate himself. But just because you get caught in a situation doesn't mean that you just release a statement saying, I'm sorry, I just didn't know. You got to do the work now.
For me, I think if you look at his history, and it started for me in the bubble with him standing and his ignorance into what the Black Lives Matter movement meant. Now this is a more ignorance of him not knowing what a word meant and using it. So it's almost like you got it. The NBA has all these programs. It's like now you got to start a program on, hey, this hurts people, this is offensive, this word you cannot use. And to me, he's just using words and going by what his own feelings and beliefs are, and not being educated by different communities, different cultures, and different things that's happened in this world. And so this is what is really need to be happening. While they suspend him, they should dock him with pay. They should make him step away. They did it with the Clippers owner. Yo, go away. All right, so take him, go away, and educate him. Make him attend classes. Make him do all these things to educate himself. So if he's allowed back with the team or any other team, he would be educated and informed. He would know. And this, I totally agree with you about the generic apology. You see these apologies so many times. It's almost like they have a template for these apologies, and guys just follow and say, "Oh, this, no. That's not. I don't want to see you come out and read something. I want to see you have this Twitch platform. I want to see you come out and you actually say the words. Speak from your heart. This way I'll know who you are as a person, because if you're speaking from the heart, I can know if you're genuine or not. But if you're reading from a piece of paper or you wrote something down, I don't believe that, because, you know, there are a lot of actors in this world, and you can read something and act a certain way. But if you're speaking from the heart, I know who you are. And right now, Meyers Leonard, I don't know who you are. And if I'm a teammate, you know, I know Jimmy Butler. If I'm Jimmy Butler, I'm stepping back from you, and I'm the captain of this team. I'm like, dude, go away. Don't come to this team until you educate yourself, until you can do a public apology the right way.
Well, a lot of people feel that way as of right now, as it's being reported. 4 different partnerships, gaming platforms that Meyers had been working with have already disconnected themselves from him. Also, like we said, he will be away indefinitely from the Miami Heat. Now we're just waiting to see what the NBA decides to do. All right, Robert, you're sticking with the ladies, so get ready. We also have another very special guest coming on.